What's happening, people? It's Tone Space. I'm going to chop it up about the recent DJ Academics drama. For those under a rock, summarize it. There's a dude by the name of, I believe, Black Boy Max. I think he does live streaming, something like that. He has a little homie that I think is either from Malaysia or a refugee from Palestine, something like that. But long story short, it's a young man that the Black Boy Max dude known for anywhere between 2 and 3 years. Shorty, the dude, his name is Noor. He's currently 15 years old. He's been going through some things. He doesn't have any friends in the country he's in because he doesn't speak English or anything. I mean, pardon me, he doesn't speak their native language, yet he does speak English. So he's online all the time, streaming, making friends there. A gentleman by the name of Black Boy Max kind of took him under his wing on some like, yo, you my little homie, and a good friend of him, stuff like that. And they're in the live stream world with all the chicanery that goes on with that and everything. So it was, I believe, a private Discord live stream session that involved DJ Academics. It involved DJ Academics, people that rock with him or whatever. And somehow the young man by the name of Noor got on the live stream with Academics. Academics and them, they were talking to Shorty, and then the conversation got very weird. They started talking sexual related things. Now, mind you, Academics is, I believe, about 32 years old. The other people that were with Ack, I don't know their ages, but you could just tell by the tone of their voice that they were also grown ass men. And the conversation got very weird. They were talking about milk in a context of it being like semen or some weird stuff like that, implied context anyway. They were talking about a dude's sister and if she's hot and all types of just strange stuff. They were talking about some homosexual stuff with him, saying, "Would you do this homosexually with this person, or would you get women?" And you don't would you like to go to a strip club? All the rappers when they were young, though they got with women that were older than them. All the rappers do it, so wouldn't you want to get with older women? They were really talking that stuff that should not be spoken to a 15-year-old young man. And I guess it got recorded. Academics was on it, so it's understandable somebody's going to record that. It got publicized, and there you have it. Academics has been receiving the backlash for that ever since, right? Now, it's safe to say that that's just wrong. There is no excuse to do that, right? I think that's so commonly known that I don't even really want to talk about that. I want to talk about what Academics had in response to that. Because the important thing, all right, everybody gonna make mistakes. People, do dumb stuff all the time. But if you get it thrown back in your face and it gets revealed, what's important is how you're gonna carry on from here forth. Did you learn something from that? You know what I'm saying? Do you agree with the lit torches and the rocks thrown at your house that people are doing over that despicable behavior, right? I was gonna try to find the actual clips of Act saying such and such, so I could play it and respond to it that way. But I'm just being lazy with it right now. I'm gonna keep it a buck. So I'm gonna paraphrase, but this is what Academic said. He said it was taken out of context. He said that sexual talk they were talking to Shorty, it was taken out of context, right? And this is what he had to say. He said that the young man Noor, well, first, this is an important detail. He said the young man Noor at first was talking like he wanted to take his own life. I guess he got deep in a conversation and he let his depressions out and let them know that. So they were trying to talk to him on some, I guess, talk him off a ledge or create a more funny atmosphere, something like that, right? But then he said shortly after that, the young man Noah started kind of flipping the script and started going in on them, dissing, jokes, stuff like that. And then remember that guy, Black Boy Max, that I told you about, who the big homie or whatever. He said that because I guess they've never met in real life, Noor and Black Boy Max. He told Academics and the people, according to Academics, this is what Academics said. He said that Noor told them that he would, this is YouTube, so you're going to have to just understand what I'm saying. He would do something strange to Black Boy Max just to be able to meet him. So, Ax's excuse of why he started talking some weird sexually oriented stuff is that Noor led the conversation there and started. He was saying he was going to top his own homie off if he could meet him and everything. So that just opened the door. So they went and they talked about that. Dude, dude, you're 30, what, at least 32 years old right now? And all the other people that were just, your little cronies that were just going in on the nonsense and rocking out with you, that's disgusting. That's the scary part, to be honest. Because, I mean, just look at regular ratio and proportion. You're going to find a weirdo everywhere. But I always find it strange when you do come across that one weirdo, and for some strange reason, there's like three or four other people that are in concert with whatever weird stuff that the weirdo's on. Probability that wise, that doesn't even make sense. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like they were going against their own nature just to be cool with the guy that's known, the popular guy. You feel me? But this was Zach's excuse. He said that, yeah, Shorty, 15-year-old kid, he's the one, he started it basically. So that is the context that Academics has said that things were taken out of. Dude, again, you're at least 32 years old. Shorty is 15 years old. You are an adult. No, you're not that man's father. You're not that man's uncle. You're not even that man's friend. But you're an adult. The responsible thing to do is to shut it down. It doesn't matter if Shorty was going in on you and your people, saying whatever. You could have said the most wildest thing in the world. It doesn't matter. And then if he said, oh, I would do something to homie just to be able to meet him, that doesn't matter. He's not the one that is supposed to take charge in the conversation when the conversation starts getting inappropriate beyond the young man's years. It was your responsibility. It was your cronies on the left, the right, and back in front of you to be like, yo, shorty, chill. We not doing that. You know what I'm saying? Maybe even if it comes off rude, tell shorty, be like, look, I'll see you later. Do your thing. I'm out, or I gotta take you off, or whatever the case is. You don't just go follow along with something and let a little kid lead a weird conversation. That almost makes it sound worse. It's like you're trying to off put the responsibility on the young child. Y'all see what I mean? It's not even as much about the weird stuff that he did. The real telling part and the real despicable behavior is how dude responded to it. He gave a half-ass apology. Kind of like some in passing. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, 15. Yeah, I'm sorry. But when you do weird stuff like this, there is no but. You don't know, but there's no but to be had in the situation. It's, look, I messed up. I understand. And that's it. And then, dude, Academics that is saying, oh, yeah, people are going to be coming at me because they don't like me, or because, I go with a lot of people and, I talk stuff about this one and that one. So, yeah, I understand. This week, I'm going to be the bullseye on the dartboard and everything. I understand. I done came at a lot of you. Stop trying to offset the conversation and talk about some more other stuff that doesn't make any sense. It has nothing to do with that. You could have been a total unknown. You could be the most popular person in the world. You did, and you said some weird stuff, then you're getting called out for it. It's simple as that. As simple as that. And then another part that is a very key element to hypocrisy, right? The young man Noor has since spoken out after the situation as well, right? And he said whatever he has to say. He's a young kid in that despicable situation. So what? Yeah, he could run his mouth. He could get fame off of it. He deserves it for having after that despicable behavior. Let him blow up now. Academics' response was like, because I guess they wanted to get Ack and Shorty to communicate, to talk, so we could face his accuser or, or whatever. Dude, Academics is gonna say, I'm not going back and forth with a child. He's 15. I'm not going to go back and forth with him. Well, weren't you going back and forth with the 15-year-old with a child when, according to you, he broached some strange stuff that he would do to his homeboy and led a sexualized conversation? So then when you responded and went along down that nasty ass path, weren't you going back and forth with him then? That was the time that you wasn't supposed to go back and forth with him. That was the time of, if any, that you're supposed to say, look, you're a 15-year-old. You shouldn't be talking like this to me. You know what I'm saying? We're dead in this conversation. Oh, but no, now you're not going back and forth with him. Why now? Why? Because you have your own skin to save. You decide, look, I'm not going to go back and forth with you now that, my hide's on the plate. I pause. You know what I'm saying? Now it's like, oh yeah, I'm going back and forth with you with Shorty. Yeah. because you're trying to clean up. So it's too little, too late. You feel me? Now, one thing that I semi don't agree with is the term grooming. Could Ack have been grooming him? It's very possible. Now, I don't know the textbook definition of grooming, but when I think of grooming, this is what I think of. What is grooming? It's a process of leading someone into something, right? What are you grooming someone for? There's an end goal to grooming. You know what I'm saying? I think it's kind of a loosely said term. So when I hear the word grooming in that type of context, I think of someone talking crazy or doing little sexualized things with a child verbally or whatever, with the end goal to physically do something to that child, right? Now I'm not going to sit here and say that after I heard what Acronym was saying on the thing, that in his mind he's like, oh yeah, I'm a sexualized shorty, and then it's gonna lead to this, and I'm gonna meet him, and then I'm actually do something. So I wouldn't necessarily call it grooming. I would just call it reckless, irresponsible behavior. Because let's keep it a buck. I was 15 years old once. Y'all watching were 15 years old once. Ack and his stupid ass cronies, they were once 15 years old. We were talking wild like that, a lot of us. Now I don't know about Nor per se. I mean, if he did say some crazy stuff at first, then that would suggest that he's no stranger to this type of subject matter. We're not going to act like that, he has virgin ears. He's probably heard this before or whatever, right? So what I think just happened, I just think it was reckless behavior. I just think it was irresponsible. These guys were probably just thinking back to when they were a kid. Oh, kids are exposed to this. Everyone's on the internet, and people are having sex in high school and everything like that. He's no stranger to this. This is nothing. This is not a problem. You know. So I don't necessarily agree with the term grooming. I think that's a bit irresponsible a term. Could it be grooming? I'm not going to rule it out, but I'm just not going to outright just throw that on him like that. Oh, you were trying to groom him. Because if you say you're trying to groom somebody, there's an end goal. And that end goal for grooming is something crazy. At least according to my definition. I could be, slightly wrong. Maybe somebody could check out the textbook definition, and maybe it was grooming textbook definition. But I just think they were being reckless. You know what I'm saying? I always am of the belief that when it comes to like weird stuff and weird behavior and these type of things, I'm always the last one to suspect someone of that, because I got this belief that we're judging and we're interpreting people's actions based on our history, our experience, our morality, and stuff like that. So it's like we look at things through our lens. And I know my lens for sure has no weird want to do stuff with a kid thing to it. So from my perspective, it's always like, well, why would any man want to do something to a kid? You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna give someone the benefit of the doubt as much as I can. You know what I'm saying? Because like I said, I was a 15-year-old kid too. We did talk crazy. So most likely it was just that, they were just being reckless and let the kid lead the conversation, basically. You know what I'm saying? Basically, y'all done cut y'all years down by 15, 17 years in that situation, and y'all took y'all punk asses back to sophomore year in high school and was in the lunchroom chopping it up on some strange shit with Shorty or whatever. So that's actually what I think it was. But I just had to say this because I don't really see anybody really getting that dude, Academics that is, for his reaction to this. It was so, I mean, if any, you would have been better off just shutting your mouth, not saying anything, because it's your lack of accountability. I think that's a stronger telling factor than the actual reckless shit that you did. So get it together. As you know, Twitch has banned them. Then I saw something with Axe saying, "Oh, I don't know why I'm banned from Twitch." Yeah, you may not know the technical definition. They may not have the technical reason. They may not have put it in writing. Sir, whatever your real name is, you're no longer part of our Twitch community because of yada yada yada. But you know why you were banned from Twitch. Let's keep it a buck, B. Even that is like you trying to escape. It's like you trying to sidle out of this thing. Ain't no sidling out of this thing. Whatever fallout comes from this, it has nothing to do with, oh, you're academics, you're this big guy and all this that. No, it comes from the actual nonsense you did. And if only you would take true, real accountability, stop trying to offset the accountability on other people, offset it on the 15-year-old kid and saying, oh, it was his fault. He started the conversation, like your ass isn't 2 times plus 2 years older than him. You know what I'm saying? You probably wouldn't be going through all this to the level it is. So, and dude streams like what every day. So you're you're coming on this thing live, just probably digging a bigger hole for yourself. You need to just like really get it together and really recognize like, look, that was wrong. Really internalize that shit and do better. I don't really care for you too much that much anyway. You got a couple other little weird situations going on in the past with a shorty saying you did this, you did that. So I'm don't really got much faith in you to keep it a buck. But I did want to share what I had to say about that. So y'all have a good one.